And please welcome up Rana Cho, who will be responding.
This is a rough spot. I'm the last speaker for this part, and I'm following such luminaries and really, really intelligent insights. So I'm going to sit down because it's all about transparency. My heart rate is like, I don't know, 90 BPM right now. This is really exciting for me. And I know that some of you have been here all day with us. I really appreciate it. And I just want to make this kind of wrap up some of the things that we've seen. But before we do, I need everybody else's heart rate up too, because I'm like, look at this, I'm shaking. Okay, so I'm going to do a little poll, and I want everyone to stand up if this applies to you, okay? So who has watched a movie in the last week? Stand up. All right. Who watched a movie in a theater? I know, it's a film festival. All right. So I set you up. All right. Who watched TV last week? TV. Who watched live TV? All right. Who listened to the radio last week? Who listened to AM or FM? AM, FM? Oh, nice. That's interesting. Who used the mail last week? Any mail? Postal? You used postal mail. All right. So the last question I have is, who has an iPhone? Who had an iPhone last year? Who had an iPhone 2 years ago? 3 years ago? 4 years ago? 5 years ago? Exactly. It came out 5 years ago. Actually, not even 5 years ago. It came out in June 2007. And we are so fixated about this device, right? So I mentioned this because, and I still have to go back and sitting down. I just did that exercise. One, it's late in the day, but two, just to prove a point that we're changing how we get media, right? We're changing when we get it, where we get it, how big the screen is that we see it on. And it seems like we're in control. Oh, I can't watch that, so I'm gonna watch it later, or I'm gonna watch it on the plane, I'm gonna, download it, or I don't wanna pay for it, I'll download it from somewhere else. And it gives us a feeling of control. But what are we actually controlling? I mean, just the consumption of content that is still produced within the same frameworks and same institutions. So I want to go back to Gary, way back earlier today at 1, about these two issues, values and control, right? So right now, we're really experimenting with controlling how media shows up. Are we experimenting with values in terms of how they show up? I think OIV TV and Musa are examples of the future. I was asked to bring examples, and I really am hard-pressed to come up with better ones. And really, my background is in marketing. So again, transparency, I'm from the other side. And I want to talk about what I know, which is marketing and what engagement means in marketing. And then finally, how to make money. Oh, yeah, finally. So right now, everything's going smaller, faster, right? And it has to be everywhere. For who and for what? It's for marketing. It's so much more valuable. It's called big data. When I know when you're seeing my ad, how long you seen it for, where you saw it, what you were doing, where you checked in, and who else was with you. All of a sudden, now my ad has meaning, almost like a story does. And I think there are so many more opportunities for us to take that back, take narratives back. I mean, advertising uses storytelling. They use writing. These are the same constructs and narratives. But I think it's time for content creators to reevaluate, what makes sense now. And I keep hearing, oh, well, we're not going to, they're not considering us a legit in TV networks. Or how do we make money? We're sitting on it. So everyone's been asking, how do we make money? And the big guys are trying to figure it out too. Do we do subscriptions? Do we untether? Ooh, like Apple unbundling. Now that you can get one song from the outside of an album, this is a really big deal for TV and cable and broadcast. We're sitting on so much money, and I don't think we realize how abundant we are. And I want to talk about this in two specific areas. One is Chase will pay you $100 for a bank account. Marketing values a valid email address from $1 to $5, depending on what the product or service is. Every time you sign your friends up for Groupon, and they say, "Oh, we were giving you money," they're saying your referral, your real friend referral, is worth $5. And what I want to say is that this is so valuable to marketers outside of our community. They want this. I don't know about the content, but they really want your communities and who you're attached to. So one, I would say guard your email list and communities with your life. Don't sell them out. I mean, really, these are connections and relationships that are going to build how we present media in the future. And the other thing I want to talk about in terms of monetizing is that Amazon does not make money from John Grisham and Dan Brown. Amazon makes money on the rare, hard-to-find, out-of-print books that they can't discount. In fact, they mark it up. And that's us. We're the niche, rare-to-find, hard-to-find stories that are they're not well-distributed. So if someone's looking for it, they're going to have to pay premium to get to that. And I think this conversation about old and new and the old guard and young bucks, I really would hate to see technology divide the community. And so I want to just leave with one final motto that I borrowed from IDEO, which is a ideation consulting company based in San Francisco, which is a great phrase. I think filmmakers can relate to it. It's fail faster. And that also means help pick each other up faster afterwards. I think this is just a time for us to experiment and make things up. Cam just did a Ready, Set, Pitch this morning, and it was because of an observation that all of the films that we were receiving all had Kickstarter funds. So it's up to us to make those observations. Musa's second project, he had to let go of control in order to open it up to a global audience. And that's only possible on that independent level where he has the same values. And it's going to, part two, are you kidding? That would have had like contracts and all of these things attached to it in more conventional models. And so I encourage everyone, fail faster, make it up. And the validation's all here. We already have the distribution. We already have the communities. So it's just a matter of just taking a step, standing up, and trying it out. And it might not work, but I think that this community is so supportive that I really, again, hope to see more collaboration and competition in terms of how to make this go forward. And so I just want to go back to a couple of points that other people made about values and control. But really, it's very rare that an organization or communities have such consistent values. I think everyone here can attest to that. And this is something that's going on in larger organizations and larger hierarchies, aligning values. And we already have it. So I just want to end on this note that we're sitting on abundance. We're sitting on all the marketing. We're sitting on all the content. It's just a matter of figuring out, what are these venues where we can experiment and play around in a safe space and support each other. Okay, maybe I don't know distribution, maybe I don't know traditional filmmaking, and to meet to that. And if it's not there, because it sounds like right now it's not out here, we have to make it up. We have to create those organizations and connections to really bring this to more Musas and more OIV TV.